Hi everyone, it's Sue at A Call to Create, and it's Flip Through Friday. So I thought I would just pop on and take you through my latest journal, which I've created in order to document my kitchen remodel, which will be coming up in the coming months. And I was inspired by a video that I watched on the channel Diane Hubert, Pretty Pink Cottage. She had purchased a journal from someone else that was put together, and it used this little golden book cover. And when I saw the title, Susie's New Stove, I thought, well, this would be a perfect place to document everything that goes on during a remodel, showing before and after pictures and the whole process with photos and what's going on day to day, week by week, and what life is like during the remodel process, how I'm managing meals and all of that. So that's the purpose of it. That's what I decided to do. This is a 1950 little golden book, and I don't believe it was ever reprinted, which is probably why it's a little hard to come by, but I did manage to find a copy that wasn't too expensive. It's actually a cookbook, and I believe it may have come with a little working stove that was plugged in, because it has recipes, and then it shows here's the little stove. I don't know if you bought it separately or if it was a combination thing, but there are recipes on these pages, how to make things, and a lot of them you make on this little stove. I guess it had a heating element here and also an oven. There was one in here for s'mores. And chocolate pudding. Some of these I am not using the page. Some of the pages I'm using in here, but probably because it was a cookbook along with the story of Susie and her friends, the things they were making on the stove. It had 3 signatures instead of the usual 2. So I didn't want to use the signatures in here like people do in a lot of the little golden books, because I wanted it mainly for photos and what I'm writing about and all of that. So I will be using these in here. For instance, this might be something I cut out and back, and it could be a journaling card that I put in a pocket or something. If things are a little smaller, something like this might be part of a cluster. So that's my thought anyway on what I might do with the pages. So this is the book. I kept the back and the front and made a spine, covered it with fabric. I put in 3 signatures. It's a little floppy right now, but that's because there's really not enough in it to give it stability. So the pages, I used a lot of just, plain paper. I didn't have a lot of scrapbook paper that I thought would work in there. But I did decide to purchase some printables. This is a printable by KB and Friends. And she does a lot of vintage, retro images. So these are kind of like an overall view of what's included in the, in the group of printables. But you can make any of these. They also come separately, and you can just make them whatever size you want. So those will be in the book a lot. And then I also found this one. This was a recipe book, cookbook by Raven Printable Design on Etsy. And it's just different pages. They're decorated mostly in blues and reds, but some yellows and some greens in there as well, but mostly reds and blues, which I thought would look nice with the book. So I'll be using those. In fact, some of them I already put in the book. Some of them, since these pages in little golden books are a little wider than your typical 8.5 by 11, so some of these I just folded in half and wrapped around the page. Others I'll be cutting out and gluing down, but you know, that'll have to be as I go along, because I'm just not sure you know, what I'll be putting on each page. I know I'll be using a lot of photographs and writing a lot about what's going on. So you can see what I've done so far. Just putting the pages together, some pockets. Here's a belly band, you know. This one flips out if I need a little more. I don't know how many pages I'm going to need for this. They tell me it's going to be 4 to 6 weeks once everything comes in. So right now we're just in the, we've got our estimate. We haven't signed the contract yet, but we're going on Tuesday to do some, we've picked out the cabinets, and we have to look at some of the countertop materials, and yeah, so anyway, there'll be a lot of picking out and a lot of things to photograph. I'm going to put some corners on these just because they're a little beat up. But anyway, that's my thought. I've got an air fryer, a microwave, and a slow cooker, and my grill in the backyard. And I hope we have a separate refrigerator down in our laundry room, which is probably where I'm going to wind up doing all my cooking during the remodel. And so I'm hoping to get some meals done ahead of time and put into the freezer that maybe I can just heat up in the microwave. But if you have any advice, if you've been through this before and have any advice, hopefully no horror stories, but if you have any tips for me, I would love to hear them. But anyway, thanks for coming along and taking a peek.